Ukrainian forces have liberated from the Russians people in more than 30 settlements in the northeast region of Kharkiv. That's according to President Volodymyr Zelensky. The gains, part of a swift Ukrainian counterattack that appears to have taken Putin's forces by surprise. This Ukraine soldier you see here, standing on the roof of a building, is announcing the liberation of a city there. That's according to the Ukrainian armed forces. Notice what he's standing on. That's a Russian flag, and the blue and yellow of Ukraine hoisted behind him. The Ukraine military also releasing this drone video. They say it shows their artillery destroying a Russian missile system in a forested area in the Kharkiv region. And here's adding insult to injury for Vladimir Putin. Even Russian state media reported on the Ukrainian breakthrough. They almost never say anything that suggests Russia isn't winning that special military operation. Today, they aired an interview with a Russian official who said this.
The very fact that they broke through our defense line is, of course, a substantial victory for them.
Somebody ought to give him an air tag. At the end of the interview, the TV host could not hide his disgust. The host said, "This is frankly horrendous." Michael Weiss is with us now, Yahoo News senior correspondent, author of a forthcoming book on Russian intelligence. Michael, it's great to have you back. You track this as closely as anybody. There's progress in Kharkiv and the south area near Kherson. How are the Ukrainians pulling this off?
Well, Shep, I think what they did very cleverly, it was telegraphed for many months that the counteroffensive in Kherson was in the offing. They have been bombarding Russian supply lines, bridges, infrastructure, military infrastructure in Kherson since the spring. And so everybody assumed this was going to be the big push. And indeed, it was announced 2 weeks ago that the play for Kherson was on, and they have been making incremental progress. But what this did was it forced the Russians to take their battalion tactical groups from other points along the front line, which stretch, hundreds, if not, over 1,000 kilometers. And it seems that they withdrew a lot of forces from Kharkiv. And as you said, this was a surprise attack. No one saw it coming. I was in Kyiv in June, talking to senior foreign ministry, MOD officials, general staff. Nobody suggested that they were going to do this kind of amazing play for the north. And in the north, by the way, it's a lot harder for the Ukrainians because the Russians are very close to their own border, so they can be resupplied. They can bring in aircraft. They can bring in convoys of vehicles stocked with ammunition and with fuel. And yet, it's incredible. This is probably the first time since the Battle of Kyiv where I simply have lost track of events in the last 24 hours because so much is in play. This is the most dynamic the battlefield has been in about 3.5 months. And there's been reports, although unconfirmed, that the Ukrainians have begun striking or possibly have even entered the city of Izium. This is a major logistical hub for Russian forces in Donbass. But more important than any battlefield gains, and by the way, it's now up to 1,000 square kilometers that the Ukrainians claim to have retaken. So incredible. But more important than that is the symbolism of this.
Michael, I just got a data miner flash from that region on this matter, and here's what it says. The Russian-appointed governor of the Kharkiv Oblast, an oblast is kind of like a state or a province, the Russian-appointed governor, in other words, the governor who Vladimir Putin put in there, has just recommended the evacuation of all residents living near the line of contact with Ukrainian troops. They are moving right now.
It's a hot knife through butter. I've seen maps that have been animated for the last several days. It is really extraordinary. But as I was going to say before, the symbolism of this is equally extraordinary. Ukraine has had to demonstrate that not only can it man a very effective mobile defense, not only did it have to defend and fortify Kyiv and draw Russian forces out of the capital city, but it had to press the fight. It had to take the fight to the Russian occupiers. It had to do a successful counteroffensive because, as you just indicated in the last block, European resolve can only last for so long, and it's going to be a while before countries decide that this just isn't worth the cost of investment. If Ukraine had stayed in this kind of stalemate, but now it's not a stalemate anymore. The Ukrainians are showing that they can actually recapture land, possibly even land, frankly, that they had lost in 2014. They waged a pretty incredible strike on Saki Air Base, deep inside enemy territory in occupied Crimea. a peninsula that had not seen any kinetic operations for 8 years. Frankly, I still don't know how they did it, whether it was a missile strike or special forces or whatever. So, this is demonstrating to the West that, hang on a minute, this is not going to be an indefinite conflict. If you support us, if you increase security assistance, give us the kind of NATO standard weapon systems we've been begging for almost a decade, we can actually drive the Russians out of our country. And by God, I mean, they're showing it in real time right now.
You have to wonder what this is doing to Russian forces. I mean, we hear all kinds of stories about how the supply lines are bad, the morale is terrible, nobody believes in the cause, but now they're getting overrun. It's not like word of that doesn't spread among the troops, and that reflects on Vladimir Putin. Could that be destabilizing in Moscow?
Hugely destabilizing in Moscow. And I have to say, I monitor not just what the Ukrainians are saying, but what pro-Russian commentators on social media applications like Telegram are saying. And for the first time, I would even hazard to say the first time ever, not even the loss of Kyiv and the withdrawal from most of Kharkiv many months ago didn't engender this kind of reaction. There is not just panic, there is vitriolic recrimination. Russian nationalists are now saying things like Vladimir Putin must be secretly Jewish and in league with Zelensky.
Wow.
There's claims of treachery, sabotage, that the Russian military has failed at all levels. And yeah, I mean, you talk to any Western analyst or Kremlinologist, and they've been telling you for years, well, if you think Vladimir Putin is bad, wait till you see the person who succeeds him. It's going to make him look rather kittenish. Already you're now seeing this kind of febrile base of ultranationalists essentially denounce their own government. And as you pointed out, when Russian state media acknowledges that the enemy has got the upper hand, that's kind of a game changer.
That's a sign of something. Michael Weiss from Yahoo News, thank you. Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.